do is like, because we've got, like, if you think about this from the analogy of a sculptor making a sculpture, we have prepared our tools, we've got the main block of the thing that we're going to do, and we've got a good idea of where it's going to end up, but now it's time to like really start carving into it basically. So we'll think about structure from kind of a more macro point of view, like a top-down view of structure, and how we can turn what is essentially a 2 to 4 bar loop into something that resembles a full track. Cool. So yeah, we put this sound in last time as a bit of a placeholder. I'm just going to bring that down a little bit. I'm just going to mute it for now, and we'll get a sub in. So in terms of like making a choice of the sub, kind of already have that idea in my head of it playing probably every half bar and getting a whoom, whoom. That's kind of already going to start playing off against the pattern of the kick. So the kick pattern is busy, so likely we're going to want to sidechain this. Always a good starting point for a clean sub is operator. We'll go down there, and then I'm pretty sure we were in D minor. At the moment, just a sine wave. I might add in some harmonics, but plan is to do saturation on the whole of the group, and then we need to sidechain from the kick. On top of this, so just note here that we've technically got a group within a group. So this I'll call all drum, and it'll just include the sub as well, and then we've got a group within a group. So sometimes I might even process the kick and the sub together, or if it's a rumble, they'll get processed together, and then there'll be another group on top of that with a like less aggressive processing. But for this, I just want to use that, and this at the moment, this group is just for organization. So like I said, in terms of like building the track out, I'm just going to grab these and bring them over here for now, and we'll just do some duplicates of this. So still some mixing required, and I'm not feeling this one. I'm just going to get rid of this one. So, okay, so my favorite option for saturation of this kind for the Ableton plugins is actually now it is raw, even though it's a fucking headfuck. Like, it's a deep plugin. I'm still learning it a lot. We could maybe try Rowena. That would be interesting. Yeah, and quite often it can be a good idea just to try different styles of saturation for this. We will try Mistortion. This is a free plugin if you want to look it up. But yeah, the key thing is like how it sounds with all the sounds going in. I'm tempted to just add in another layer of percussion. So some of these are in a free version of this Rave Techno Essentials sample pack on the site if you do want to check them out. What I'm looking for is something really rich, a rich kind of rough sound that I can chop up to get like a bit more of a funky feeling to it. So this is quite old school in the way I'm going to do this. I'm just going to edit some audio basically. Let's check the loop first. This is crunchy at the start. Okay, so this is very much like, yeah, getting an interesting rhythm out of this. So I'm going to chop a few bits up, maybe reverse some stuff. I'm actually going to hone in on this half bar section. Yeah, and now I'm going to go even deeper. I'm going to go off the grid. So take snap to grid off, and yeah, I'm going to shift some of these about and see if we can get more of a edgy groove. We can utilize the fades. How the ride reacts to the saturation. It's a very kind of creative decision whether to leave the ride in to all this processing or take it out. Sometimes a ride that's really crunched up with all the other drums can sound pretty good. Sometimes it sounds unnatural and messy. So and sometimes you might just want to take it completely out of the group and have it untouched and have a nice kind of sparkly ride. So, or sometimes maybe tweak it afterwards. So yeah, what I'm trying to say here is that we're looking for overall vibe and tone as much as anything else. Like, so I'll purposely drive things too hard and see what happens and think about maybe do we take out some of that frequency that's getting too strong because we like what it's doing to the high end and like getting the crunch in the high end. But anyway, like I say, we'll play around, but one of the key things to achieving a good result here is to gain match. So we don't want to turn something on and it get instantly louder because that's always going to sound better. So we can't make a true judgment. So it's really cool to get into the practice of just at least roughly gain matching things, and then further down the line you might be able to disregard it a little bit because you know the sound of the devices that you're using so well that you can be confident. Yeah, we'll see how we go. Cool, so this one, Sine Old Fold, I believe it is modelled on a tape machine of some sort. Cool, so with that, we are peaking at just over -7, so that's a little bit loud. I'd probably want my drum group to be coming in around -10, so I'm just going to drop everything down by 1 dB and see where that puts us. -10-ish. Turn this on, and now I'm going to turn this up until I get to around -10. Okay, so we'll try with more drive and then adjust the output accordingly. Okay, so this is a good point to bring up the fact that we are making this sound louder without making it louder. We are exciting certain frequencies that the ear is more sensitive to, and we are reducing the RMS, like the average volume, and we're pulling things up and squashing the kick a little bit. And yeah, this results in kind of quite a pleasant like scrunching up of the sound. gritty sounds out of that. Medium curve can be nice also. We'll do the same thing. So really brutal, really aggressive. There's absolutely nothing to say that that wouldn't work in a track in the right circumstances. What I was saying in terms of the EQ, like maybe I would, if I'm doing something that aggressive, I'd do. So take that, because it really exaggerates. A lot of the time saturation will exaggerate this area, like lows and low mids, quite a lot. So I might do something like that. We could also consider going a little bit on the 50-50 dry wet, do parallel processing, or just mix it in until it sounds right. Okay, so that sounded good to me, around 30%, but now when we drop this, the peak volume is going down significantly, so we can actually turn the output up more. So this is what I mean about gain staging. It can be a little bit tedious, but it is worthwhile. Cool, I'm liking that one. I'm liking that one. So common technique that I did there called like seek and destroy, or I've not really destroyed it, but using the headphone will isolate particular frequency spectrum, frequency range, and then when you pull up or down, it exaggerates it, so you can kind of hear some potential problem issues, problem areas, or areas that you want to actually boost potentially as well. So sometimes the saturation can dull the top end, which can be desirable, especially for the kind of more lo-fi, like surgeon function regis kind of stuff. It's that saturation alone that can give the lo-fi feel. But if you wanted to make it a little bit more modern, you could do a tiny little shelf maybe, and the highs like this.